The next job in the workshop is to make two stools, and the first part of that job is to cut to length the 8 legs that I need. So that's the 8 legs cut to length, ready for doweling. Now it's time to cut the stretchers between the legs. Now to cut the stretchers to width. And that's it, all the stretchers cut to length now and to width. So there we have all the components laid out for the two stools. 8 legs, 8 lower stretchers and 8 upper stretchers. The only thing we have to do now is the marking out. The only marking we have to do is to put a check mark at the top corners of each of these stretchers. Like that. Let's do the rest of them quickly. So that's all the marking done, and all we've done is put a check mark on the 2 top corners of each of the stretchers. Now we can get on to the doweling. So we insert the cross piece into the vise with the check mark facing away. Line the Dowelmax up with the edge of the work. Finger flush is fine. And I'm putting 3 dowels in the top pieces and 2 in the bottom, so just simply drill. One end completed. Again, we've got the check mark here. Line up the edge of the Dowelmax with the piece there. Finger flush and 3 more holes. That's the first piece done. On to the next piece. Again, check mark at the front. Line up the Dowelmax. One end done. That's the second piece completed. So I'll carry on now and do the rest of these off camera. So that's all of the machining for the 8 upper stretchers done, and you'd find it hard to do it quicker than that even with a CNC machine. So now for the lower the lower spreaders, and there were just 2 dowels going in these. And that's the first one done, and I'll carry on and do the rest now. Now on the legs I've inserted shims either side of the block. The shims this side will give me a reveal where the leg goes, because I want it where the stretcher goes, because I want it inset a little bit, and the shims here just give me the distance, a wider gap, in order to securely clamp the piece. I've also cut a high-tech piece of stick for spacing. So all we do again is line up the end of the Dowelmax with the end of the wood, tighten up, drill the 3 holes for the top, slide the Dowelmax down, put the pin in the last hole, put the stick up against it, put the Dowelmax up against the stick, and drill the 2 bottom holes. Then just top and turn the piece onto the next piece. Okay, no marking, just line up with the end of the jig. For the top piece, slide the pin in, put the Dowelmax up against the block, and drill the 2 holes. Flip the piece around, flush the Dowelmax up with the edge, move the jig along, insert the locating pin, put the stick up against the pin and against the Dowelmax, and drill the 2 holes for the bottom. Because we're using positive stops all the time, the holes must match up exactly. So that's 2 legs done, and I'll now carry on and do the remainder. When I first started making these stools, I used mortise and tenon joinery, and it used to take about an hour and a quarter to do the 16 mortise and tenon joints that each stool has. With the Dowelmax it takes just over a quarter of an hour, so it's a saving of an hour, and every joint comes out absolutely perfect, first time, every time. So with all the components for the stools cut to size, the only thing to do now is to sand and glue up. So now on to the assembly. Always put plenty of glue on. Glue's cheap. I will just check the diagonals to make sure it's square. $640, $640, and we don't even need to clamp these up. So that's another one done. I'll carry on now and finish the rest off. So now we've got 4 sides glued up, and the next job is to glue them up together to make the complete stool. I find it easier to get these glued first, leave them to dry and make sure they're square, rather than trying to glue up the whole stool in one go. So let's go. Here I'm just sanding the tops of the stools and rounding the edges a little bit. And that's the tops done. Well, here are the 2 stools, all stained, ready for varnishing, and next to them the components for the next 4 stools. So 4 stools, that's 16 joints per stool, 64 joints altogether, and they were made in just over an hour using the Dowelmax. That's the sort of precision and speed you can get from this wonderful tool. The order for 4 stools was increased to 8, as shown here.